Okay, hi there. Welcome, Kim Willis again with another training using the Facebook Live platform. Actually, I'm using two platforms. Facebook Live is kind of the destination, but I use software called Be Live, and that gives me all sorts of options. I can create fancy borders, or I can use their fancy borders, right? I can brand myself. I can have my logo. I can do all sorts of things when I'm doing a Facebook Live, things that you cannot do when you're using just the Facebook Live platform. So this Be Live platform acts as a kind of an intermediary between me and Facebook. Yeah, it's pretty good. I can share the screen. I can interview people. I can bring people on as a guest speaker. I can show, PowerPoint presentations, whatever. It's mighty helpful. It is. So all right. So I'm going to be running a weekly session with few exceptions from this point forth. It may not be this time. It may not be at this time of the day because most of my audience is in North America, and it seems that I get more engagement, more attendance when I broadcast evenings their time, which is mornings my time. It's now evening for me, but it's morning for uh, you know people who I engage with most of the time because they're in the US and they're in Canada. So, but I prefer to do it in the evenings. To be quite honest with you, I'm not really a great morning person, but look, I'll fit in with my audience. So if it means that I get more engagement, more people attending the live call by doing it that way, well, I will. And and next week I've got much more of a formal training on. It's a training that I've been promising for the last few weeks, and it's called How to Make Big Bucks from a Small Audience. So look out for that. That's an extended training. This one is a bit more laid back. It's not a formal training. I don't go into much depth, but I'm just giving you the idea about some of the strategies you can use to take your tribe building to another. All right. Yes. Okay. So someone said hello, Kim. Now I don't know who that is. That's one of the disadvantages. There is a link. If you can go into the Facebook post that I've got, it should be sitting at the top there, and in the comments you'll see a link. You'll see a link. Click on that link, and that by doing that you're giving Be Live, which is the software that I'm using, permission to reveal your name. And it's much easier, much better for me and probably for you if I know who it is who's saying this stuff. Now, the reason for it is that it's to do with privacy concerns. This Tribe Builder community group is a closed group, okay? So it's because of these privacy issues, each person who attends a Facebook Live like this has to give permission. The same thing, and that rule doesn't apply when I run a Facebook Live on my business page, my fan page. And if I adjust the settings in Facebook on my personal profile, it doesn't apply there either. Although last time I did it using the Be Live software, I still had a problem. So this morning, my time, I did a I did a Facebook Live on my personal profile. No problems. It went great. Had pretty good engagement, etc. I didn't use the software. But tonight, my time, perhaps morning your time, I am using the software because, well, it's great. Like I've got the 5 talking points, and rather than commit to memory or refer to handwritten notes, the talking points are here and they'll show up on the screen. And that is good for you because it aids your retention. It's because it's a visual thing and it's easy to remember it. Okay, so that's why I decided to use the Be Live software tonight. Yeah, that's it. All right. Comments from, I just got a notice here from Be Live. Comments from the Facebook Live post appear on Be Live. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Just let me see if I can. I'll just go on my mobile phone, I'll go into the group and I'll be able to see who, if anyone, is commenting at the moment. Just hang on for a sec and then I'll get started. Like I say, this will not be a long session. I hope to have it more or less nailed in 15 minutes or so, as long as I don't get off track. Which I sometimes get very enthusiastic, right? And I get carried away. And my late wife used to say, you should be carried away. we need to carry you away because you're so crazy. But she said that in a loving way, of course. Okay, let's see. I'm in my group now using my cell phone, all right? Ew, where's the freaking post? This is annoying. Oh, great. Oh, charming. It's not there. I can't see it. Am I going blind or something? And look, I won't hold you up. Okay. Yeah, I don't get this. Facebook again. Oh my God. Oh dear. Anyway, I'll have a look on my desktop, see if I can see it. Okay, so it could be Diuni. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Most people are going to watch this on the replay anyway. Okay, so, and on the replay, I'll see the comments. It's just on when it's live, use this software, that it's a problem. Okay, 5 ways to build a cult-like following for your business. 5 ways. This is not the definitive list. It's not the complete list. In fact, when I recorded this series for YouTube 2 years ago, maybe 3, there were 21, I think it was 21 or 22 different strategies or tactics. So today, I'm only featuring 5. And I hope to run another one in the series, and I'll feature another 5. And then I can do another 5. If you like it. If you don't like it, fine. Doesn't worry me. I like it. I love this topic. Whether I can turn you onto this topic or not, it's another question. I don't know. We'll see. But I do love this topic because tribe building is a very important aspect to effective quality marketing. It is. Tribe building. Got to be a smart way to build a business. Has to be a smart way to build a business. Build a warm audience. Build a warm audience. Why would you be trying to sell stuff to people that don't know you from a bar of soap? Why would you do that? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. All right, so tribe building is the name of the game. And from there, you can generate your leads and you can make sales, and often they're easy sales as long as you're, adhering to a few sound principles and techniques. But it's definitely much easier to do business with people who know, like, and trust you, as you probably know. So we talk about the heading here is cult-like. Now, when people think of cults, they think of strange movements, strange fads, religious movements, perhaps, cults. There are business cults. I remember there was a book written by a guy who was sort of anti-network marketing, and he's talking about the theme of the book was about cults. A lot of these businesses, such as Amway, etc., are dangerous cults. Well, I don't think they're dangerous cults at all. But what I do know is that the leaders use a lot of the strategies that cult leaders use to build their so-called cult. I was involved with a religion once, and many people called it a cult, okay? I just thought it was quite a conservative religion. It was relatively mainstream. Okay, they go to church on Saturday instead of Sunday, but you know, most other areas they were quite mainstream and you know, conservative in their approach, and there wasn't any a kind of wicked cult-like activity, or very little that I could see anyway. Well, I couldn't see any, but cult-like activity going on in that particular religion. I'm not involved with that church anymore, but some people, because it was, you know, it was a smaller religion, some people called it a cult, and it may have had cult-like characteristics, but it doesn't mean to say that it was a bad thing. They did a lot of good things. I know that for a fact. They did a lot of good things. So cults don't have to be bad. They've just been given a bad rap maybe by the media, and certainly there have been some freaky things, freaky cults that we've seen come and go over the years. Freaky cults, weird cults, crazy stuff. But there are other movements, other religions, etc., that have cult-like characteristics, but they're basically the good guys, all right? Now, I'm not talking about a cult in that sense anyway. I'm talking about business, how to use some of the more savory aspects of a cult building strategy to build your tribe, to build your business. That's what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not talking about, oh, you weird stuff here and, you know, barking at the moon at midnight and all this kind of stuff. No, not at all. No, everything that I will be sharing with you in this series is good, sound, common sense stuff in the main. There are a few controversial points. I'm not sure, maybe I won't get to them tonight, but certainly the next one, the next chapter in this series, there are a couple of controversial ones. Although, actually, I think number 4 tonight, number 4 is a little bit controversial, but it's not, you know, I'd say it's on a scale of 0 to 10, I'd say it's like a 6. But there's a couple of others in the other episodes of this series, or the other stages in this series, that are probably a 9 or a 10. They are quite controversial if you look at it the wrong way, right? If you look at it the right way, it kind of makes sense. But some people find it very jarring. But I'm not going to jar you too much tonight. This is going to be good, safe stuff. So let's get started. Let's get started. Oh, yeah. Boom, boom. Okay. Here we go. Number 1. There's 5. Okay. Number 1, limited access. Limited access. So if you're going to build a cult-like business, a community, a tribe that is designed to feed your business, it might be a good idea to think about this. Limited access. Yeah, limited access is important. You could use a limited access strategy for a Facebook group. You've got a Facebook group, limited access. You don't let everybody in to your group, okay? You're more selective. You could even run a paid kind of a group. They pay an annual fee. That helps to limit the access. If it's a free group, you can still limit access by vetting people, can't you? When you start a group, you'll notice that there are 3 questions that you can type in there that will automatically be asked of people who want to join your group. And if they don't answer the questions, or they don't answer them to your satisfaction, guess what happens? Nothing. You reject their application. You reject their request to join. Okay? So I think a Facebook group is a good example of, you know, a good way to implement some of these cultish strategies, because we're talking about communities, aren't we? And a group, a Facebook group, is potentially a community, providing you get the engagement happening to a certain degree. It's potentially a community, and it could be a good community if you do it right, okay? And so building a business, building our type of business, solo brands, it's about building a tribe, building an audience first. If you're an affiliate marketer, much smarter to build an audience. I was an affiliate marketer for many, many years. I don't do it anymore, but I was an affiliate marketer. I was a high-ticket affiliate marketer. I did extremely well out of it most of the time. And I found that the best business came from people who already knew me. So in other words, they're in my tribe, so to speak. Okay, they're in my tribe. So the goal should be to be continually building your tribe. And if you can use some of these strategies, some of these cultish strategies, all to the good, and power to you. Power to you. So limited access. Don't let everybody into your circle of influence. And whether you structure it via a Facebook group or in some other way, limited access, the limited access rule, I think, is important. And let people know that not everybody is going to be accepted into your tribe. Not everybody. Not everybody is going to be accepted into your tribe. Not everybody is going to be approved by you. And advertise the fact. Let them know that it's a little bit exclusive. And probably I need to tighten up on that myself. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. We've got more comments. Hey. Unfortunately, I cannot see your name because of this freaking problem with Facebook groups and the software that I'm currently using. So I'm looking on my cell phone here to see if... oops, battery. Forgot to charge my battery. Oh, goodness. That'd be great. Another technical mishap. Yay, back again. Why don't you just type your name, just your first name. I'll probably know who it is. Just type your first name next to your comment. If you can do that, that would be great. Then I know who I'm talking to. At the moment, I feel like I'm flying in the dark. This little technical problem needs to be solved. It's not my technical problem. It's basically because of a rule that Facebook have implemented that if third-party apps intercede between me and Facebook, and the Facebook group itself is a closed group, they won't allow me, being the convener, the presenter, to see who is making the comments. All I know is that some people are making comments. I know that. I can see that. It says there, but the names are blind. I can't see who it is. So if you could just type your name, that'd be awesome. Yeah, so limited access. Limited access. This is really good. And you could make a song and dance about it. In fact, I should do this. You could put it into your group description, letting people know that not everyone will be approved. Not everyone is approved. This is for higher level people. Make it kind of exclusive, like an exclusive club. You know what happens when you make it exclusive? People want to join the damn thing, don't they? They think it's important. It's kind of, it elevates in their thinking. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Hang on. I don't know if Megan is on this call. She asked to look at my Elton John sunglasses. There you go. If she's not on the call live, she can watch it in the replay. Yeah. Look, you got to have fun. This is one of the things you want to join the live streaming revolution, of which Facebook is but one example. It's a very prominent example. But if you want to join that revolution, you've got to stand out a bit. All right. So I will continue to do crazy things, and I'll do more of them in the future. Song and dance, you name it. The only thing I won't do is I will not appear naked. You have my assurance about that. Okay, so that's it. Number one, limited access. I think you can do a lot with that. Even if you just focused on that for the next week, right? With your messaging, you're talking to people and so on. Now, just before I finish, I'll give you an example. I've had a lot of people join as friends in the last few weeks, okay? And before I came onto this call, I was looking at some of these people and saying, will I invite them to join my group? And I checked their profile. I looked at if there were any previous conversations or even if they answered a previous message that I sent them. And I made a decision that less than half would be invited into the group. Less than half, right? Because they don't fit my profile. I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with these people. They're not good enough to join my group. That's my attitude. They're not good enough. Okay. Now, in the past, when I first started the Tribe Builder Community Group, I was adding anybody. So I've got a lot of deadwood in there at the moment. I hate to say it, but it's true. That group was started, when was it? 2 years ago. There's deadwood in that group. And if I get around to it or I get someone to do it for me, we'll remove maybe half of the people in the group. Remove them. But even before you add people to the group, why don't you be more selective and ask the question, are they good enough to be part of my tribe? There you go. So limited access. And let people know that it's limited access. Number 2, multipliers. I've started various groups over the years, and I've only really made money from them. It was not, and I've made hardly any money from that group. 31,000 members. Why is that? Well, everyone gets approved as long as I've got a profile pic. It's a spammy kind of a group. It was started by my son and I took it over. That's basically what it was. So it's still there today. It's growing every day. We've approved another 40 people to join today. I have no interest in it, right? There's no passion there. There's no exclusivity. There's nothing. It breaks all the rules, all right? But I have picked up some leads from it, so I'm not completely complaining about it. Don't get me wrong. And you can find some good people in those spammy groups, believe it or not. There are people in those this is just an aside. I'm doing this for Will, actually. There are some good people in those spammy groups. It's just that they're misguided people, so we need to re-educate them, and that's fine. Done it plenty of times. Peter Beckenham and people like that have done it as well. Okay, so multipliers. Who are your multipliers? With a group that I started, a few years ago, I did it in conjunction with a couple of good people, one of whom is Peter Beckenham. And that group built quite quickly. Look, I can't remember the stats, but we seem to be at like 500 plus people within a month. Okay, and I started to make a little bit of money out of it, and then I started to make some good money out of it. But when I say I make money from a Facebook group, I'm not just talking about the group itself. I'm talking about the ecosystem, because I'm into ecosystems. The group is like a bit of a bedrock. It's a bit of a foundation. But if I just rely on the group to generate leads and make money, I'm probably not going to make that much money. It's only when we do the other things necessary to make it work that are outside of the group that it all starts to work in a synergistic way. But the group is the foundation. That's my community, okay? So multipliers. I had the idea for that group. So I thought of a couple of people that I think might be good to work in with me on it. You know, have the pioneering spirit, etc. And I spoke to them and gave them some reasons as to why it could be beneficial for all of us to support this new group. Okay, so that's what we did. So they became my multipliers. Do you have multipliers? Do you have 1 or 2 people that you can tap into and get them to support your, let's say it's a group, okay? Because you're building a tribe, you're building a community, you're building a quasi cult, all right? Do you have a couple of people? Do you know what to say to those people to enlist their support? Well, what I did was I said, well, look, guys, this is how I see it unfolding. You add people to the group, and all of us will support the people that are added to the group. Okay, so they become your leads. Okay, just like people that I add, they're my leads, all right? And the other guy that was involved, they were his leads. And then we will support the new members with good content, and we will teach them about organic marketing techniques. That's what we'll do. And so they can use to build their business. And most of them, with that particular group, were network marketers. Okay, this is another group, not the Tribe Builder Community Group, another group. Okay, and that worked very, very well. Multipliers. Same thing when I started the Tribe Builder Community Group. I spoke to a couple of other people. I told them about it, and I would say that at least a third of the people, the members in that group, have come from these other people who supported the group. Yeah. So that's another good one. Multipliers. Find your multipliers. Number 3. Oh, gee, we're almost at past the halfway mark. Share the love. Okay, this is a nice one. Warm and fuzzy. Share the love. Now, it's not as easy to share the love in the digital environment, in the online world. It's not, because you don't have the benefit of body language. Oh, okay, on a video you can see body language for sure, but even then, you're not in the same room as that person. You can't. It's harder to kind of get a feeling for that person. You can't shake their hand and look them in the eye. Okay, it's more difficult. So sharing the love is still quite important, and there are different ways to do it. One of them is through recognition. You recognize people. I recognized somebody last week. I think I recognized someone else the week before in the group. Okay. When I was running an affiliate program, I was always recognizing people. Hey, congratulations to blah, blah, blah. You just made 3 sales today. You just made this. You just did this. You got this result, blah, blah. I love it. And I would love to hear more success stories, but I'm not talking to everybody all the time. That's the thing. I don't know. So it's only if you have a success story, well, tell me. I'm not a mind reader. Tell me. I'd love to know. See, if we were building a network or a tribe or a cult offline, we'd be probably meeting up once a week and would have a bit of a glad handing session. All right, and that's when you hear the stories, eyeball to eyeball, maybe over a cup of coffee, all of that. Can't do that in the online world. So in some respects, the online world is more difficult than the offline world, in some respects. In fact, probably in many respects. It's more difficult, and it's often slower. It's not faster. It's slower in most instances, unless you're spending a crap load of money on advertising, okay? But then there are all sorts of problems associated with spending money on ads. Right? That opens up another can of worms. So it's definitely not a panacea. But it's hard to demonstrate love, to show love, harder to show love, to demonstrate love, to be warm with people. It's hard to do. It's harder to do it in the online world compared to the offline world. It's harder. Now, I got no choice, because I made a decision to travel, to stay reasonably close to my family, my sons, because they were traveling. Okay, and I'm in a third world country. I'm enjoying it. I love it from a cultural point of view. There's a bunch of reasons why I like it, but I can't do business locally. Very little. There are expats here, but most of them are alcoholics. There's a certain amount of truth in that. And I am definitely not an alcoholic. I am not a substance abuser in any way. I'm quite a clean living guy. Okay. I want my sons to be proud of me, so I'm definitely not going to be going down that pathway. I'm never even slightly tempted. But You know, I've looked up. I looked on the meetups to see if there are local meetups here, and there are, but one of them's about navel gazing or something like that, and I'm not really into that. So there's no chamber of commerce. There's nothing like that. So you can't get the same warm feeling, but you can do. There are some things you can do to make it better. And I would say recognize people. If you've got a group, recognize them. Shout out. Say something nice about them. And this can only happen if you're chatting with them. So you'd be probably using the messenger tool, wouldn't you? You'd be chatting with them. You'd be finding out what's happening in their world, etc. I should do a lot more of it, but I'm just so freaking busy at the moment. I should do a lot more of it. I just, yeah, I'm not doing it very much at the moment. So it means that I neglect people a bit at times. At times. Other times I don't at all. But so you can do things like that. You can be warm like that in the group, in front of other members, so they can see it as well. And you can also say nice things to people on Messenger. Why don't you have 3 or 4 or 5 just chats with people in your sphere of influence? Find out. Don't try and sell them anything. Just find out. You know, got any good news? I want to report it in my group. I'd love to know any good news at all. We're going to have a good news day. There's an idea. You can have a good news day or a good news week. This is good news week, okay? And so your goal is to reach out to ask people to share their good news, but also why don't you reach out to 3, 4, 5 people a day on Messenger and say, hey, Mary, we're having good news week in the group this week, and I'd love to know if there's some good news that we can share in the group. Anything at all. Doesn't have to be business. It could be anything. Just, you know, you've had your 3rd grandson, or your daughter has just given birth to the 3rd grandchild. Anything at all. Good news. Puts a smile on people's faces and makes people feel warmer. I tell you what, as I'm talking, this is the thing. I love talking to people. Often I prefer the one. I like the one-on-one. I'm falling in love with Facebook Live, believe it or not, after a couple of years of hesitation. Because sometimes I'm doing a Facebook Live and I'm coming up with ideas, see. I'm not very good with ideas just by myself, doodling. I'm better when I bounce off other people. And even though I don't even know who's commenting here tonight, I can feel you. I know that you're there. And I'm getting ideas. Because marketing is a creative process. I'm getting ideas that feel the love. Those couple of those little ideas I've just given you, they're fantastic. I love them. Let's do it. Let's do it. Why don't we team up? 3 or 4 or 5 of us could team up and we could say, okay, we're going to have a share the love week. Or if we feel that a week is too long, okay, we have a share the love day. All right? Or 2 days, 48 hours, share the love blitz. Okay? And you prime people up in your group first. Or you could do it on your personal profile if you haven't got a group. Do it on your personal profile. Prime them. Right? And then make sure you talk to a bunch of people before. And then when it starts, then you can start sharing the love. And obviously, it's probably better if you can empower them to do it. But in some instances, you may do it. So you recognize them and they see that you're the catalyst behind this. So that's good for you as well. But if you can get some of your people to volunteer, that would be great. So there's another one. Share the love. Okay, number 3. Okay. Okay, so that's ideology. All right. Yeah, I've done 4, haven't I? Hang on. Yep. Okay, we've done 4. Limited access. Share the love. Oh dear. 1. Yeah, limited access, multipliers, share the love, and this one, ideology. This one's a little bit controversial because ideology is often associated with political movements, isn't it? Political parties, etc. Yeah. You've got different ideologies that have been percolating through societies and civilizations for a long time, such as communism, right? Socialism, fascism, Nazis, all the isms, Islamism, whatever that is. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of, and all of them are based on some kind of an ideology. I guess you could say the Christian church is based on an ideology as well. It's a set of beliefs, not necessarily supported by facts, but it's a set of beliefs, a way of looking at the world, based on a way of looking at the world, and the way the promoters of the ideology see that the world should, the direction that the world should be going, right? So ideologies, in the main, scare the living daylights out of me, because it gives sometimes wicked people license to do bad things. Now, I'm living in a country, I'm living in Cambodia. In 1975, Pol Pot and his Khmer Rouge henchmen rode into town. And the town was Phnom Penh, the city of Phnom Penh. And in 1975, I think they had a population of about 1 million people. Guess what? The vast majority of those people were frog marched out of the city on foot, in the heat, without food, often without water. And within a few weeks, the town was like a ghost town. Why did they do that? They turned their back on capitalism. And the decision was that everybody should work in the fields. Even doctors. In fact, educated people were often shot. They were very suspicious of educated people. 2 million people died during that period. And it only ended when, well, it was a kind of a false ending in a way, because the guerrilla movement continued on for many years after that. But it officially ended 4 years later in 1979, when the Vietnamese army came into Phnom Penh and toppled the regime. They toppled the regime. And from there, the country started to rebuild very, very slowly in the early stages. And now it's a growth economy, but it's still third world, or veering on second world. It's improving all the time. I can see it. I can see it everywhere. I have a bit of an interest in this whole region for its history, right? But that was ideology, guys. That was ideology, wasn't it? Ideology. But there can be some good, there are some good ideologies as well. A set of beliefs, structure, the way we see the world. So if you're building a business and that business revolves around a community of like-minded people, it's probably good to have some kind of an ideology, a belief system. For me, the belief system is pretty simple. It's marketing based. It's not weird. It's not fluky or flaky or anything like that. It's marketing based. And that is that the best business flows from people who know, like, and trust you. That's an ideology. That's an ideology. And therefore, it behooves us to build a tribe, a warm audience, an audience consisting of people that know, like, and trust us. And by doing that, we automatically increase our authority amongst those people, at least some of them. That's the ideology, right? And you've got to stand firm to your ideology. You can't flip out and flake around. You've got to stand firm. You don't want to be a flake. You don't want to be promoting this ideology one day and then the next day or the next month you're promoting some other thing, which is about spamming people in Facebook groups. That's another ideology, and it's a very bad ideology, right? So you've got to stand firm to your principles. You've got to be known as that person. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You've got to stand for something that you believe in. Now, You may have a different ideology when it comes to building your business, a different belief system, a different view as to how your business should be built. Fine. If it stacks up, great, go with it. That's your ideology. And your goal, therefore, is to educate people about your ideology. Educate them. And when you do it, you'll be establishing yourself as a leader, someone to look up to. If people don't stand for something, they'll fall for anything. Just remember that. You've got to stand for something. And it's got to be something that's valuable. Perhaps it's something that's bigger than yourself. Maybe it's part of a movement, something you stand for. You could join the tribe builder movement, okay? You believe in what I'm saying and then you embrace it for yourself. Why not? It does work. Okay? So ideology, it's not a bad word. It's a good word. It's a good word. It's like any of these things. If you're coming from a good place, if you've got a good heart, you'll do the right thing by people, won't you? So don't be intimidated by it. Okay, next one, and the next one, there it is. Language. Have you noticed that a lot of the best, most successful businesses, particularly when those businesses involve a lot of people, that they develop their own language? Now, you're on a platform right now that has done exactly that. The Facebook platform. They've developed their own language, haven't they? Facebook groups. They've got all sorts of words that they use. Facebook page. Okay, what's a Facebook page? Is that like a Facebook group? No. Facebook page is different. Facebook page is the word we give to people who are running a business. It's a Facebook page. A Facebook group is something else, right? And then you've got a personal profile. That's something else. Language. They create their own language. And that helps to give people a greater sense of belonging. It makes them feel part of it. Now, when I was involved with that religion all those years ago, long time ago, when I was a young guy, they had their own language, not just from the Bible. They'd created their own language. And it was only the insiders that knew what it meant. It was like wink, wink, nod, nod, say no more. It was. The insiders knew. Outsiders, they hear these words. What the heck are those guys talking about? They didn't know. Of course, the words were alien to them because they were outsiders. See? So maybe you can do that as well a little bit. Maybe you can do that as well. There's all sorts of examples. Steve Jobs, he basically created his own categories, brand new categories that people hadn't even thought about before. iPods, iPads, iPhones. Created the language of iPhone, this, iPads, what's his computers called? Some of the computers, creates a unique language, and it goes hand in hand. That sort of elegant simplicity goes hand in hand with the aesthetics that contribute to the brand. The aesthetics. If I think of Apple, I'm thinking of color. I'm thinking of the Apple logo, but I'm also thinking of a box when I buy an Apple product. Often it's a white box, very simple, elegant, beautiful design, but it's a white background. Purity, cleanliness. Yeah. Language. Think about language. Maybe you can create some words that separate you or separate your business from the others. And then as you bring people into your tribe, into your circle of influence, you start using these words and maybe they'll start using them as well. So that's it, language. So let's just do a recap here. I've done them all. Limited access, bang. Number 2, find your multipliers. Number 3, share the love. Number 4, ideology. And finally, number 5, language. There it is. That's the first 5 in the series. Another 5, well, see what sort of response I get. And if I get a reasonable response, okay, I'll do another 5 in the series. I know what they are. I've got all the titles. As I said, I've recorded 21 videos on this topic. It's very interesting to me, but it may not be interesting to everybody. I understand that. That's okay. That's okay. I'm cool with it. But I hope there are some people who watch this, watch the replay as well, who say, yeah, I like this stuff. I can see potential here. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. All righty then. Any other comments here? Marie Miller. Hi. Thanks for putting your name in there, Marie. That's great. Love to stay and watch, Kim, but, well, okay, that's Peter. Oh, g'day, Peter. Yeah, okay, mate. Oh, yeah, big storm. Gee, Peter's in Thailand. Peter is in Thailand, and we're now hitting the rainy season, and I love it. I love the rainy season. Some people hate it, but it's coming a bit earlier to Cambodia this year. Last year, it started the middle of May, and it's got our first storm. When was it? I think it was on Sunday, early, and we need it because there's been a bit of a drought. Okay, so and it rained again today, quite a bit of rain. So it's great. So I understand, Peter, but fortunately, we didn't have any blackouts today, so that's good. No blackouts. So there you go. Now, what else? Who else we got here? Hi. Well, I don't know who you are because you're not giving me your name. You need to give me your name. But look, it's great. Okay, we know that Marie Miller is on the call, but there are a bunch of other people who were on her as well. But because of this software glitch, the names are not revealed to me. So unless you type your name in. But anyway, it doesn't matter. If you've got any questions, please feel free. I'm happy to stay for another minute or two. If not, I'll go. But if you want to, if you've got some questions about this whole concept of tribe building and building a cult-like following and getting the no like and oh goodness, no like and trust factor working in your favor, great. If you want to talk about that, ask some questions. I'm fine. I'm happy to answer them. Like I said, it's not going to be an in-depth training tonight, but I think I covered the 5 points, reasonably well. And if you want more detail, okay, well maybe that's a topic for another day. But I will, in all probability, I will run another set of 5s because there's 21 in the series, right? So this is the first 5. So the next 5, as I said, there's at least one that's highly controversial, and I have to explain it in such a way that it doesn't offend people, okay? And I hope to be able to do that. But I won't be doing it for a few weeks anyway, because next week I've got an important training coming up, and this is a fully formatted PowerPoint training, okay? So this is a fully structured training, go into some detail, and it's called How to Make Big Bucks from a Small Audience, something that I've done quite well with. It's a strategy that I've used on and off for many years, not just with Facebook groups, but even with small email audiences, even with small YouTube audiences, I've done well, okay? I take more of a boutique approach. So this is going to be, I think, a really good training for many people, and it'll be happening next Thursday. And I've just about finished it. I've just got a bit more finessing to do to the format itself, and I look forward to seeing some of you on that training next week. It'll probably be in a different time zone. It'll probably be in the for North America, it'll probably be in the evenings, be in the morning my time. Okay, all right. Okay, folks, That's it. I don't think there are any questions. I shall close this broadcast now. Have a good day or have a good rest of the evening, depending on where you are. Okay. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.